Alrighty, everybody, how is it going, y'all? It's your boy Marcus, the Low Vision Snap player, and welcome back to a brand spanking new vid. For this video, I've got something very fun and different planned. Well, I'm doing a tier list video, but it's going to be a little bit different from the others, because normally the ones that I make are all focused on just one particular season, right? So tier lists like this one, Visions of the Future, right? But this time, I have decided to do one that focuses on my entire collection. Now, I know what you're thinking. Bro, what the heck? Your entire collection? Isn't that going to take a while to film? Yes, and if you're wondering if I'm going to do it in one video, no. I'm not psycho like that. So, I've decided to kind of split it up into batches, right? So, I did the math and I kind of decided I was going to do 10 rows of cards in this game, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So up to armor, that's where the last row is. And then in the future episode, we'll start where Kraven is. So we're going to go through all of these, which now that I think about it, I probably could have split it up even further, but I want to try to cover a lot of these as possible. So we're going to go ahead and kick things off with the Punisher. This, as long as a bunch of these other cards you will get early on, and I will say some of them are pretty good, but I don't want to be like biased or nothing. So we're going to start with the Punisher, a 3/3 that reads ongoing +1 power for each enemy card here. So what I do like about this card's ability is the fact that you don't really have to predict, because there are some cards that I will discuss later where you have to predict where your opponent's going to play. With Punisher, you can just play this dude down, and wherever they play, like if they play in your location, he's going to benefit. And if your opponent has +4, has like 4 cards down, you're getting like, what is it, 7 power? That's pretty dang solid. Now, with my personal experience, he's not an amazing card, but I think for what his ability is, he kind of gets the job done. And now, do I use him in any decks? Honestly, no. But again, even then, for what he is, he gets the job done. And overall, really, really, really solid card that you will get on your collection. So we're going to start with that. I'm going to try to fly through these. After that, we got Medusa, a 2-cost 2-power card that reads on reveal. If this is in the middle location or at the middle location, +3 power. So if you manage to play her mid, she's gonna be a 2/5, which is not bad. But the thing is, that's kind of the only spot you can really play her is the mid. I mean, you can technically play her in other locations, but she's not going to get that boost. So you kind of have to be mindful of where you're going to play her. However, there may be cases where you kind of really can't play her mid, because that middle location could be something like a Death's Domain or a location that disables a card's text. So those are kind of factors that you do have to keep in mind when playing Medusa. But I think she's a pretty fun card. And I think I might have used her a bunch like beforehand, but nowadays I don't really use her as much as I would probably like to. So she's gonna go. Oops, did I add the card? User photo library. We wanted a Medusa. So there she is, and boom. Oh, I added it twice. Wait, what the heck? Hold on, we gotta change. Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, there we go. So we've got Medusa and Punisher. After Punisher, we've got Sentinel, a 2/3 that reads, on reveal, add another Sentinel to your hand. Here's the thing about this card. It's not only going to happen once. It's going to happen every single time, right? So you play your Sentinel down. You're going to get essentially a copy of this card. And when you play that copy down, you're going to continue to get Sentinels until either your hand is full. Yeah, until your hand is full. And depending on the deck you're playing, that could be either good or bad. And in my personal opinion, I feel like he's kind of average. So that is where Sentinel is going to go. He's just not like my favorite. And then again, I will say this for like an early game card, he's pretty good, but for me, no, he's not really my favorite. So far, nothing amazing yet. But eventually, we will get there. I promise you, we will get there. After Cyclops, or no, oops. After Sentinel, we've got Abomination. This dude is a 5/9. However, he does not have an ability. So you will get a bunch of these cards, including Cyclops, Hulk, and Shocker, and also the Thing. And we'll get to all of those. But for Abomination being a 9-power card, that's pretty good. However, if you have High Evolutionary, which in a future video I will rank him. If you have a High Evolutionary, this dude is a pretty solid card. He basically gets cheaper when you play a card that afflicts power, like negative power, right? So for example, like a Hazmat, or like, heck, even Cyclops. Cyclops also kind of can play a part in this too. So the more damage that you deal to your opponent's cards, the cheaper that this dude is going to get. And it's pretty solid. However, when you take away High Evolutionary, he's pretty good. A pretty good card. So he is going to go right here. After that, we're moving on to Star-Lord, and this is what I was talking about as far as like the prediction side. Star-Lord is a cost 2 power card that reads on reveal, if your opponent played a card here this turn plus 4 power. So you're going from a 2/2 to a 2/6, and maybe even more if you're playing one like a Kamar Taj, right? So you start off with the first set of 4, so you're up to 6, and then you go up to the next set of 4. That's already 10 power. That's huge. But without that though, it's pretty good. But then again, you do have to predict where your opponent is going to play. If not, he's kind of weak sauce. 2/2 really doesn't do you much if you kind of misfire on on like where your opponent's going to play. So I feel like while his ability is good, he can be a little bit tricky. So I think for that reason, he's going to go on average. He's not a bad card. I just think that, like, especially as far as, at least for me, I don't really see where he, like, a good spot to put him in. Like, a lot of the decks that I build, like, I don't use cards like Star-Lord, which maybe I might have to. I might have to start using cards like Star-Lord because I don't know. I'm thinking maybe later down the line, if I play with Star-Lord more, I might move him up a bit. Who knows? But that's where he's going to go into the average tier. After that, we've got Cyclops. That's a different card, Psylocke. But he is a 3-cost 4-power card with no ability. And on his own, he's pretty mid. I'm just going to say that. He's just pretty mid. But I don't know if I have him in my Jocasta. Probably don't. No, I do not. But when you consider... Actually, hold on. When you look at Cyclops' ability, right? End of turn, if you have unspent energy, afflict 2 enemy cards here with -1 power. That's pretty good. And again, when you have pair it with Abomination's ability, that's a really good combo. But again, standalone, he's just kind of mid. So I'm not gonna base him off of his like high Evo version, but it's just gonna be the base. And yeah, he's pretty mid. It's like you're basically wasting a 3-cost card for no apparent reason. That's why I'm not gonna just throw him into any deck. It has to include high Evo in it. If I'm going to be using Cyclops. So yes, I am going to put him in mid as well. So after Cyclops, we have Hulk, who is a 6'12", that does not have an ability. However, with High Evolutionary, again, I'm gonna bring this dude up a couple more times. This dude is busted. He is absolutely amazing. Like he gets +2 power for every, like, if you have like unspent energy, which is pretty broken. So this time sort of gotten him up to like a almost 20 power. But even then, though, without that, he's still really good. He's still a really good card to have. And, you know, if you just want to break out a 6-cost card, you know, no fancy tricks, just some good power, I think he's definitely a solid contender. But he is not amazing, though. I am making that clear. He is not an amazing card. But I think even for being with no abilities, he gets the job done. After Hulk, we get the Shocker, a 2-cost, 3-power card, no ability. Now, I have Shocker in my Jocasta luck deck, and basically what his ability does is he'll give one of your cards to the left side of your hand -1 cost, which is nice, but it's not crazy good like some of the other cards. And again, he kind of falls into the same problem with Cyclops, where he's just kind of mid. Like, you're not going to play Shocker anywhere else. Like a 2/3 just isn't that good. For beginners, it is. I would say for like new players, this is a pretty decent card to get your hands on. But in the long run, it's really not going to do you good unless you again have a high evolutionary. So, although I kind of want to put him in terrible, though. Did I put him in average or terrible? No, because there are way worse. There are definitely way worse cards than him. So we're gonna put Shocker in. Where's Shocker? Bam. In average. After Shocker, we're moving on to the Thing, a 4-cost, 7-power card, no ability, with high Evo. Again, I'm bringing up high Evo. That's this dude right here. And now we'll rank him in a future vid. But basically, when you look at what Thing's ability is, oh, come on, I'm trying to look at Thing's ability, damn it. Here it is. It says, on reveal, afflict 3 enemy cards here with -1 power. That's good. And then on top of that, with Cyclops, if you pair him with Cyclops, that's a pretty ruthless combination. And then your Abomination will get even cheaper. But if we're talking about just the standalone cards, he's not bad. I think 7 power works, right? But it's like, he's good for what he is. Even though he doesn't have a special ability, he gets the job done. So there's another card entered into great. So far, again, no amazing cards. So after that, we are then moving on to Hawkeye. This dude is a 1 cost, 1 power card that reads, on review, if you play a card at this location, next turn, +3 power. He essentially becomes a 1/4, which, I mean, it's fine. It's nothing really to write home about. I mean, if you play a card in his location, that he'll get that boost, but otherwise, if not, I don't know, man. He's just average. I'm sorry. He's just like, he's just okay to me. After him, we've got Iron Man. Ongoing, your total power here is doubled. So, here's the thing. His ability is pretty freaking cracked. But the funny thing is, I never really use him because, well, there's already other ways where you can, like, double his power. And I'm talking about Man-Spider. But so far, though, the fact that you're getting a card like this early game is pretty dang solid. And from my experience, he was actually pretty freaking fun. So he's going in the great tier again. Cancel. No. Photo library. So who was it? Iron Man? Yes, it was Iron Man. He is going there. I wonder how big these tiers could get. Because we still got a lot. After Iron Man, we got Quicksilver. He is a 1 cost 2 power card that reads, starts in your opening hand. This probably has to be one of the most simplest card abilities in the game. Because you get to have him on turn 1, right? So it kind of gives you like something to play out. Because here's the thing. Even if you have, just because you have a 1 cost card in your deck doesn't mean you're gonna get it on turn 1. You might not get your 1 cost card until turn 6 or turn 7 if you're playing Magic. But with Quicksilver, it kind of assures that you are gonna get something to play out on 1. But he doesn't really have that big of impact. It's just like, he's just there to get you started, get the ball rolling, right? So I think it's pretty average. Not that it's like a bad thing, but he just doesn't leave as big of an impact. So far both tiers are kind of looking pretty even. That could all change though. We've got Misty Knight, a 1 cost 2 power card. So again, no ability. That's pretty weak. Unless, and again, I'm going to say this often, unless you have High Evolutionary. That's the thing. With cards like this that don't have any abilities, the only way for them to actually be better is with High Evolutionary. Standalone, she's just a 1/2. She's not that great. In long term, maybe when you're starting out, yes, it's a great addition, but as you start to progress and as you start to build that collection, she really isn't worth incorporating into any decks unless you're playing like a Destroy and you want to sacrifice something. Then yeah, sure, go ahead, slap her into a 1 cost. To like a Destroy deck in the 1 cost slot. Because otherwise, yeah, she's just kind of useless. You know what? I think she might be like the first terrible card. Like, even though, I mean, as far as her high evolutionary ability, she like at the end of each turn, she gives like one of your other cards that location. I think it's like +1 power, which isn't bad, but it's her base, man. The base version of her is just terrible, and that's kind of where I'm ranking these guys. It's not based off of their like upgraded abilities, but just like the base overall card. So sadly, I have to put Misty Knight in terrible. The very first card to be put in the terrible tier. And trust me when I say there might be others to come. Then we have Jessica Jones, a 4-cost 5 power card that reads, on review, if you don't play a card at this location next turn, what is that, +5 power? Yeah, +5. So she becomes a 4/10, which is pretty good. But then again, you already have cards, a 4/10 card, right? Like you have Typhoid Mary. I think Cold Obsidian is also a 4/10. Like you already have 2 cards that have that as their base. But I mean, for what this ability is, it's pretty good. It's not an amazing card, but I think this card. I think this card it's pretty decent for what it is. Okay, where is Miss Jessica Jones? After Jessica Jones, we've got one of the cards that I use very often in my ongoing Ultron decks, and it is none other than Ka-Zar, a 4-cost 5 power card. I mean, if you've seen my videos, if you've seen the video where if you've seen me build this deck, did I ever show you guys my Hordes, where I built the Hordes of Power deck? I don't think I did I? But regardless, you can see he is in that deck. He's in that deck, and I gotta say, he is pretty freaking good. Although, I guess like the only... No, you know what? I can't really find any other criticisms other than he works great if you're playing in decks where 1-cost cards are going to be more present. Like, especially like in Thanos. If you play him in a Thanos deck, he might be pretty good. Give him that extra boost that they need. Especially with Ant-Man, which I will talk about. But honestly, I feel like Ka-Zar might just be the first amazing card, because when you consider how diverse this card is, you could put him in a lot of different decks. And again, like I said, if you play him in Thanos or in just any deck where your 1-cost cards are kind of beneficial, I think it's pretty good. Power-wise, I think it's decent, but... or... is he really that amazing, though? Because it is only focusing on one. You know what? No. I'm going to put him in great for now. Because I know there are better cards. There are better cards than this. At least but he's still a really good card. And he has helped me get to Infinite, like, at least a few times. So this has been a very helpful card. After Ka-Zar, we've got Mr. Ant-Man, which you can get in the Recruits Pass. So if you have 3 other cards at this location, he becomes a 1/5, which is not too shabby. Now, you could do this in a couple ways. You could either play 3 other cards, just 3 separate cards next to Ant-Man. He's going to get that buff. But where I think this dude really benefits is in an Ultron deck, of course. But also, if you play him with Brood. Brood is a really good fit for this, right? Especially if you're playing in a location where if you have four cards there, you'll get extra energy or sometimes another card, or sometimes it's to release one of your other cards, right? So pair Ant-Man with Brood, it's a really solid combo. And this dude is kind of my absolute favorite. So I am giving Ant-Man the first spot in the amazing tier. I know that sounds crazy considering that I put Ka-Zar in great, but I really do think that Ant-Man is he's just all around amazing, y'all. Like, especially for an early game card. After that, we've got the classic Mr. Fantastic. Believe it or not, there are 3 different Mr. Fantastic characters in this game. That's this version. There's a zombie Mr. Fantastic, and then there's one from the Fantastic Four First Steps movie, which, again, I will cover all of those in the future. Like, when it comes time to rank those again. But his ability says, ongoing, adjacent locations have +3 power. Oh, and he's a 3 cost 1 power card. I think he's pretty good, right? I mean, I did, because you do get him in one of the decks in Grand Arena. You do play with Mr. Fantastic, and I think for what it is, it works pretty well. So he's gonna go. He's gonna be here, right there. So man, the great tier it's starting to grow already. After that, we've got Spectrum, a 6 cost, 7 power card. 6-7. That you know that thing that kids nowadays are saying 6-7. I'm sure kids who play this game will probably get a kick out of that. But anyways, besides that, 6 cost, 7 power card, whose ability reads, on reveal, give your ongoing cards +2 power, which, now that I think about it, I don't run, I should be running her in my ongoing decks. The only reason why I don't, though, is because, you know, the ongoing decks that I do build are usually focused on spreading out power to other cards, right? So again, the Ant-Man, Ka-Zar, spreading the power, the Ka-Zar spreading out power to the Ant-Man, and then also the Ultron's drones, or the zombie horde, right? Just spreading the power around. But I think she's a pretty great card. Not quite amazing, not my absolute favorite, but I do believe she's pretty fun. So she is going to go here. After Spectrum, we've got Nightcrawler, a 1 cost 2 power card that reads, you can move this once. Here's the thing, I have not played Nightcrawler up until the Prowler came out last season. And, you know, his ability, like, it's fine. It's nothing to write home about. However, for like an introduction to move, it is a pretty good place to start. Right, like if you're just getting introduced to the move archetype, this will kind of show you that you can move cards around the board. However, with Nightcrawler, you can only do that once. But the power really isn't anything special. So I think I'm going to put Nightcrawler in the average tier alongside some of these other cards. So far, there hasn't been any terrible ones. Besides, ooh, Colossus is next. 2 cost 3 power card that reads, ongoing, can't be destroyed, moved, or have its power reduced. Which, it definitely seems cracked until you realize that, like, listen, on paper this dude seems like cracked, and you would probably want to have him in every destroy deck. But for being a 3 power, that's just not as good, honestly. And I just don't see a reason, because, like, especially in a destroy deck, it completely defeats the purpose. Alright, unless there's a play that I want to pull off that I really don't want to have something destroyed, then I'll use this guy. But I haven't really found a good place to use Colossus. So at least for me, I feel like he's kind of an average card, just not really all that fun to kind of bust out. So after Colossus, we are then going on to Wolfsbane. This dude is a 3 cost 2 power card that reads, on reveal, plus 2 power for each other card you have here. So think of it like the Punisher, but instead of your enemy cards, it's with your cards. What is that? 2, 4... That's like a 2-8. That's pretty... Or no, a 3-8. That is pretty freaking solid. But then again, it's not one that they use often because they haven't really found the good place for it. But at least when I have played her in decks, or for him in decks, it's not bad. It's not bad. But it's definitely not amazing. So Wolfsbane... putting Wolfsbane here. After Wolfsbane, we have White Tiger, a 5 cost 1 power card that reads, on reveal, add a 9 power tiger to another location. So that's the Tiger Spirit, a 5 cost 9 power card. I think it's good, I guess. I mean, the 9 power tiger is pretty decent, but then again, it's like you're only adding one thing to the board, which is good because you're not clogging up too much space. But then again, in my honest opinion, I can't really find any other places to put her in. Which probably means that I need to start experimenting more with these cards, which I'm pretty sure I might have already said that. But yeah, I mean, her ability is good, and the 9 power tiger is good, but I just don't really have... I just don't play her in a lot of decks. Cancel. So, therefore, White Tiger is going to go there. And great. After White Tiger, we've got Ironheart. Now, before Ironheart, I remember Ironheart used to be able to target all of your cards. Like, she used to be able to target a bunch of your cards. Now it's only just 2, which, in my opinion, that's kind of dumb. And I think because of that change, I just don't play her as much. Like, it's like only 2 of your cards are getting plus 1 power. There are other cards in the game that can do the same, but offer a little bit more. Right? You have cards like Herbie, Awesome Andy. Those cards can kind of do that too. and they're cheaper than her. So it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like she's just not as fun as of a card as she once was. So at least for me, I feel like Ironheart is going to go here. Sorry to disappoint you Ironheart fans, but she's just not as good as I remember. After that, we've got Odin, a 5-cost 9 or 6-cost 9 power card that reads on reveal. Repeat the on reveal abilities of your other cards here. Man, it's been a while since I played Odin, and I've really never found a good reason to, considering that I don't know what it is, but it's like, look, Odin's ability is good, right, if you're playing on reveals, but then after that, it's just like, with my, like, I just don't really find myself using him as much as I would like. But his ability is solid, so I'll put him here. God dang, Great is getting filled to the brim with a whole bunch of cards. Like, look at all these cards in Great. We only have one amazing card, a whole bunch of average, and only one terrible, which is good for now. But there will definitely be more, I promise you that. We've got Lady Sif next, a 3-cost 5-power card that reads Unrevealed, discard the card that costs the most from your hand. So this benefits with cards like Apocalypse or Khonshu, or a new card coming up, Weapon H. So every time you discard that card, it's gonna get cheaper. And Lady Sif is just a solid addition, right? For an early game discard card, I think she's pretty fun. Now, is she an amazing, like, discarding card, though? That's tough. Because I'm trying to save the amazing. I don't want to just slap all the cards into amazing. So, once again, she's got to go here. And then I guess same could be kind of said with Apocalypse too, but these two have like good synergy, right? Apocalypse gets discarded and he gets +4, so he's at 8 + 4, that's 12, +4, that's 16. He can just continue to get stronger. And then when you have cards like Dracula, oh man, that's freaking awesome. I think I managed to get Apocalypse to like 30 something a couple of times. Like 32 or 31 power, which is pretty busted. And you know what? Because Khonshu, some of the other cards like take advantage of being discarded. They're good, but I feel like Apocalypse. You know what? I think I'm gonna put him in amazing because I actually do enjoy putting him in a lot of discard decks. Because he just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So there you have it. The second card has been added to amazing. After that, we've got America Chavez. Another 1-cost 2-power card. On reveal, get the tough card of your deck +3 power. This is hit or miss. This is kind of hit or miss, right? Because her ability, it's like you're giving your card +3 power, but is it the card that really needs that extra 3? And is that ability really all that special? In my honest opinion, no. I don't really think it's all that crazy, but the fact that one of your cards is getting a little extra boost, that's nice. But then again, she's only a 2-power card, so it really is nothing to write home about. So I'm putting her in here. Oops. Right next to... right into the average tier. Okay, so after that we've got Angela, a 2-cost 3-power card that reads, after you play a card here, plus 1 power. So if you play an extra 3 cards, that's like 6 power. A 2/6, that's pretty solid. But is she a card that I use often? Not necessarily. But I don't think that she's like a bad card. But then again, she's not as amazing as some other ones. So I'm putting her here. Now, if you guys are if you guys have an opinion on where some of these cards should go, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you disagree with some of them, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments about this list. After Angela, we've got Scarlet Witch. Not zombie Scarlet Witch, but just plain old Scarlet Witch. There are better cards. Let's be real. There are better cards that can switch locations. You've got Storm. You've got Magic. Magic is the better version of Storm because, you know, I mean, look, the random location can be good, but then sometimes it screws you over. And that's why you've got cards like even Merlin, or cards like Merlin and one of Thanos' stones. Like, it completely makes Scarlet Witch useless. So honestly, I'm putting her here. Like, there are so many other cards that can practically do the thing that she can do. So yeah, I'm putting her here. Terrible. This is what the list is looking like so far. And trust me, guys, it is only going to get even bigger. After that, we've got Nova. This is a destroy card that I frequently use in my decks. And he is pretty fun. But is he an amazing destroy card? Ooh, man, that's tough to say, because while I do enjoy playing him in a lot of different destroy decks, he's not crazy amazing, but oops, he is really good. Let me go ahead and reopen that app again. Whoopsie. So I'm putting him right, where's Nova? Oh, we're actually getting pretty close to done here, guys. Just a few more cards. And then next time we'll work on another batch of cards. God damn, look at all the cards in great tier. That's insane. After Nova, we've got Gamora. So this card you could also get in the Recruits Pass along with Ironheart and Ant-Man. But her ability says unreveal. So if your opponent played a card here this turn, plus 4 power. So a 5/12, that's pretty broken. But then again, you do have to predict where your opponent is playing. So that's where it is going to get a bit tricky. But for a 5/8, that's really good. That is really freaking good. So I'm putting her here in the great tier. Gamora. After this, we've got Wolverine, another 2-cost 3-power card that reads, when this is discarded or destroyed, regenerate it with plus 2 power at a random location. So the cool thing is that you can place him in pretty much both discard and destroy. It doesn't really matter. And you know, it gets the job done, man. Now, I probably would use him more in Destroy rather than using him in Discard, because the thing with Discard is that Discard mostly targets your hand. That's the thing with Discard. It targets your hand, while Destroy, it's more on the board. And Wolverine would probably be works best when you're destroying him instead of discarding him. But overall, man, he's kind of a staple in Destroy decks. Like, you should be playing him in your Destroy decks, if anything. So, another great card. So we're pretty much getting down to the wire, which is good because my phone's getting a bit low. But we've got about, I think it's up to armor, right? So we're pretty much on the last row here. So we've got Angel. So he's another 2/3. And basically, the way he works is that, you know, if a card gets destroyed, he'll take that card's place at that location. So it says, when one of your cards is destroyed, this flies out of your hand or deck to replace it, which is pretty good, but it's not one that I use often. In fact, I think I brought him back in, like, for Wade Wilson, right? That's the only time I really brought him back. And it's fine. I mean, it does what it has to do, but it's not my favorite. It's not that great. For me, he feels average. So he's going here. Look at all these cards in great tier. Oh my gosh. It's huge. And only 2 terrible cards. After that, we've got Strong Guy, a 3-cost 3-power card. Ongoing +6 power. Is it +6 or +5? +6 power if your hand has 1 or fewer cards. I mean, listen, if you can pull this off, 3/9 is huge. But otherwise, no. He is not that good because it's like you have to be able to play out cards. You have to have almost a near empty hand for him to take effect. In early game, that's kind of impossible, right? Because MODOK is like the perfect thing for that. With this card, you discard your entire hand and you have strong guy there. Yeah, that's gonna be perfect. But without that, the dude's just plain. He's not a very good early game card. So yeah, he's going. Oops, no, I keep typing that. Oops, I keep typing on that. So I'm putting him in terrible. That's the 3rd card. So we've got about, how many cards have we got? We got about 6 more cards left, and we're pretty much good to go. We've got Professor X, ongoing. Moving is the only way to add or remove a character. Oh, sorry, guys. A character from here. Not gonna lie, this is one that I don't really run as much. Especially since you have cards like Mercury, and I'm sure there's some other ones that are probably better than this, but yeah, I don't, even though I do play move decks, I don't really use him a lot. So, at least for me, he's kind of average. He's just average. After him, hold on, let me check my battery. 7%. Okay, I'm gonna have to try to do this quick. A 3/0 card that says unreveal. Become a copy of a card in your opponent's hand. This card feels kind of underrated, but then again, I don't play him a lot. So maybe this might be a sign I gotta start playing Morph. But I don't know. For me, it's kind of hard to put him up high because it's just one that I kind of just forgot about him. So he's going in average. No. There we go. We're trying to add tiers. So Morph goes here into average, and then after that, armor. Armor. When used right, this dude is really good, but he could also be very annoying if your opponent's playing him, especially if you're running a destroy deck. So you have to really think about what deck you throw him in. But otherwise, it's okay. It's fun in my opinion, but if you're playing him in a destroy deck, and you play cards like a Nova or X-23 in that specific location where armor's at, those cards are kind of useless at that point. But yeah, armor doesn't really see that much play for me, in my honest opinion. So armor's going there. Iron Fist. Now see this. This is a card that I put in a lot of move decks. He kind of gets the ball rolling. You play something like Vulture or Original Human Torch, which I will be covering later on, and a bunch of other cards. And you know what? Like, for him being like one of the staple move cards, he's pretty good, but he's not like absolutely amazing. Nope. He's not absolutely amazing. But I think he's just solid. Now, as for Swordmaster, an odd-costed card from here. I feel like Swordmaster is just kind of obsolete. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, 7 power is pretty good, but I just don't really play him as much. Even when I play this card deck, I just don't play him simply because... Wait, do I have him in one of my destroy decks? Because I have I call it To the Left, and it has a lot of... Let me see, do I have Swordmaster in here? No, I don't. Because I just have Blade. I just have Apocalypse. I have Lady Sif, but I don't have Swordmaster, which it's not a discarding card that I really use a lot. So, I don't know. It's kind of average to me. Even though the power is nice, it's just not one that I would use as much. And now, here we are, ladies and gents. The last card, finally. The first segment of the tier list is done. And trust me when I say, again, it's not over yet. Because we still got a bunch of more videos to make. But we now have Bishop. 3/2. After you play a card, this gains +1 power. It's solid. There's not much to it, but it's a solid card. Is it one that I use often? No. But yeah, Yeah, sure. He's great. I do need to play more often, though. But anyways, guys, this is it. This is the tier list so far. And in the future episode, I will be explaining why I am doing this. So, yeah, guys, there it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and sub. Turn on those post notifications so you'll know when I upload. And stay tuned for the upcoming parts or episodes. So you'll know when so you can catch up on the next part of cards. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Peace.